What's going on, family? Entertainer, motivator, educator, Lucky Mary Bepp, another Gamecock news update. Today, we're speaking about Josh Vann calling out Marcus Satterfield on his podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about that, what he said, and we're going to discuss it, man. So, like I said before, I was, searching up my stories, figuring some things out, and I realized something. Josh Vann has a podcast. A lot of these players have podcasts and stuff that they have to say, and am I a big fan of active players having podcasts? It really depends. I think that I'm going to hold my opinion on that to after we read the article, and we're going to keep coming from that because I don't want y'all to be like, my bad. I don't want y'all to be like, well, Lucky, you just be blah, blah, blah. You know how y'all say sometimes. You know what y'all say. Am I right here? All right? Am I right here? So, right? I want y'all to see where we at. All right. So, here's the thing. Oops, my bad. There we go. Wrong area. It says 6-year wide receiver Josh Vann criticized Cyclone football play caller in the loss to Arkansas on the episode of the podcast he hosts with senior defensive back Darius Rush. On the episode of the Completely Cocky podcast recorded after the Gamecocks 44-30 loss at the Arkansas on September 10th, Vann commented that the offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield called a play that the team had not reviewed recently on a critical third down. Vann also said the team's game plan could have been simpler. Now, here's what he said. He said, there was one time, not to bash a coaching thing. When you say that, you typically about to bash a coach or something like that. It was third down, and we called a play we haven't went over in like 3 weeks, Vann said on the podcast. As a player, you're supposed to know the whole playbook. So whenever something gets thrown onto you, you can know what it is so you can execute and line up fast. At the same time, we haven't went over it. You can't expect in the heat of the moment for somebody to recognize on the fly, to know what to do. It's just some little mistakes. But Arkansas is behind us, right? Right? So he said that I'm in the wrong for putting this out. But before y'all try to come at my coach, it's our job as players to know what to do no matter what the circumstances were. And falling back on training and studying what everyone has, Vann wrote. So he said this on Twitter, right? And then, here's what Shane Beamer said. No. When asked about Vann's use, okay. So we're going to stop right there because it's another one that he acknowledged that he made. Marcus Satterfield actually acknowledged that he made a pretty bad call, a couple calls at the Arkansas game. So here's what I think, man. And this is why I'm going to continue the conversation I'm going to have. There we go, guys. There we go. I'm a little blurry. Let's go. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on that real quick. Right? I'm going to do this real quick and say why I don't like active players having podcasts. Because your words can definitely be taken out of context, especially if you're in the heat of the moment, you had a loss, and you're reflecting. The last thing that I want a player to do, an active player, is to turn on the microphone and start talking freely. Because once those words come out there, once those Twitter fingers starts to tweet, once those things start to happen, you have to backtrack. And you seen that he said that, look, I was wrong, and he owned up to it. But I would like for these conversations to kind of stay within the house and maybe as a reflection after the season, right? As you're talking amongst yourselves, put this out there. But as players try to find their footing in this new age of NILs and trying to market themselves in their name, image, and likeness, sometimes podcasts is not for everybody. A lot of people think that it's easy to get on a camera and talk. It is not that easy, right? To gain a following. So I think that I wouldn't be an active player with a podcast, wait till the season ends, or be a host where you're not really giving your input or your insight. We all know that there was some bad calls against the Arkansas game. It don't take a rocket science to know that. Secondly, I think that sometimes, like I said, your words can be taken out of context in the heat of the moment. But the fact of the matter is that they're going to ride with their coach, Marcus Satterfield. And I think that Shane Beamer's going to ride with this coach. And I think that the Gamecock fans, I put out the post the other day on the Gamecock recruiting page on Facebook. Slow your roll, people. We got so much football left to go. And just because we got Spencer Rattler doesn't mean Spencer Rattler is going to allow us to win the national championship game. So here's what I need you to do, people. Here's what I need you to do. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think that do you think that Josh Vann was wrong by his statements? Write in the comment section below. Again, this is entertainer, motivator, educator. Please don't forget all three. Like Mary back another Gamecock news update. Today we're speaking about Josh Vann speaking out against the play calling. Y'all let me know what you think about this comment section below. Like always, till next time, people.